Hey out there, everybody, and welcome back to the Voice of Geeks Network, available at VOGnetwork.com and VOG Network on pretty much any social media that you follow. I am Rob Roberts, and I'm joined here by that little Pokemon over there giving me a dirty look, so that must be Shane. Hey, Shane.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
We have had a busy day in gaming news today. We had a Nintendo Direct earlier today, which we've talked about in another video, which I'd encourage people to look up. But now a new challenger approaches. After Nintendo announced that they would be doing their Direct, Sony came out and said, guess what? We've got a State of Play coming out. It's almost like, whatever husk of E3 is now on September 14th. Who knew? Who knew? I like to start these videos with the too long didn't watch. So, because most YouTubes make you wait until the end for that, but we'll indulge you at the beginning. At the end of the day, Shane, what was your thought about the State of Play by Sony?
100% the presentation to watch today, despite having low-ish lows, its highs were just like off the planet highs. It was so good.
Interesting. I'm very
But I see the video. It starts off terribly.
yeah. This first game they were showing, what is this called? Baby Walk or something? I don't even.
Baby steps.
Baby
It
Steps.
is.
This
I,
looks ridiculous and
I
not in
wrote
a good
out
way.
I wrote out notes for our stuff today because this is a new video, so I can say that, and it's new information. And literally, the first thing I wrote about this game looks real dumb. Like it is real
I
dumb. I do not understand the appeal.
I have a feeling it's for people that like the buggy, silly games. Like we'll find out on Sunday night, but I feel like this is the type of thing that Loki from OLR is going to be very into and think is funny.
Oh my
Because
god.
broken games, I don't know. And like, is he moving around like a WASD or what is that game? QWOP? I don't. It just looks weird. But I maybe it's the type of thing you indulge in things and play with friends and it's funny. I don't know.
Okay, well, it's a humor that is not mine, and I thought
Fine.
like the voice parts were terrible, and this game was terrible. I was like, I was like, is this setting the tone for my state of play today? This is gonna be garbage.
But you liked it overall, apparently.
Oh yeah, no, like I said, it has low lows, but it has incredibly high
Well, let's
highs.
talk about the high highs. What were some things on your radar that were the high highs in this?
Um, so not the first thing, but the first thing on my list that got all caps when I wrote it was the new line of controllers and blades for the PS5, the blue, the red, and the silver. I was so excited for
You are
it.
very
Like you have
excited
no
about
idea.
those. No, I saw you posting all over social media about that. Why are you so excited about new controllers? I'm trying to see where.
I
Do you
love
remember where
new
in the direct they showed that? Was it towards the end?
it's after Ghost Runner 2. I don't know if that helps. Probably like midway, a little
Probably
before
not, but
midway.
I'll figure it out.
Um, I love different colored controllers. Always have, and that's just God. When the Switch started coming out with different Joy-Con colors, I was like, this is gonna be a nightmare for me, and I love it. But that blue, I mean, all of these are metallic colors, so that's awesome. The only blue we've had is a light blue, which I own that controller. I love it, but this dark metallic blue, oh, is so good. So good.
SHO100 Matt in our chat says Shane keeps the color blue in business.
I do.
Kinda.
I really do. But I don't want to take away from the red and the silver. I think they look amazing as well.
Mhm.
But if I'm picking one, I'm picking the blue one.
Yeah, they are a really good look. I still kind of like the purple controller, but that's all right. I think too. I like that it matches the casing for the PlayStation 5. I like that they did both, like not just the controller. Yeah, the blue does.
Mhm.
Like I'm not as into blue as you are. I've always been more of a green person, but I will admit that blue looks really good. So does the red.
Yes, right
They all look
now
good.
I don't have any blades for my PS5. So
Mhm.
I just have the standard white. But I don't have a white controller. I got rid of that and I have the light blue and the pink
Gotcha.
controllers. And I would gladly give up the pink to get the dark blue metallic.
What were some
Um
other highlights?
um And like I said, that was not the first thing I liked, but that's just the like big exciting
The
thing. The
biggest
first
cats.
exciting thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least at that point. I thought Ghostbusters VR was pretty cool. And
Really?
it was nice to see some VR stuff. Very excited for Resident Evil 4 VR, but I want to know if it's the entire game or if it's just like little segments. But that is the way I would love to play Resident Evil 4 because I'm not a huge fan of the like third-person Resident Evil style gameplay, but I am a huge fan of the first-person Resident Evil style gameplay. So that was great.
I'm gonna say this: the Ghostbusters VR and the Resident Evil VR didn't look bad, but I still don't think they're making a compelling case for me to invest the money in a PSVR 2. Like, this is just one of those things where if I
Ghostbusters, no.
owned one, I'd be like, "Oh, neat." But
Ghostbusters is not like a system seller or a accessory seller, whatever you want to call it. It, I cannot overstate how good Resident Evil is in VR and how much better it
I
makes the
don't think I don't think
games.
I could handle it, but
Yeah,
it's
that's why
fine.
it's so good.
Yeah.
And this, like, as soon as like you saw the flashlight and started panning over things in the very first shot, I was like, oh my god, this is Resident Evil 4. They're making it first person, which I guess really is the only thing you could do. But I was like, still not expecting that, even though they announced VR for this game. And I'm very pleased with what I saw.
Yeah.
Very, very pleased.
All right. What were some other highlights
Um,
for you?
um, Honkai Star Rail. I love that
Really?
game.
But okay, wait a minute. Doesn't this come into the whole like you are sick of seeing things that we already have like heard about type of things and like
Well, there's this. This is not a 40-minute direct. This is a 20-minute state of play.
alright.
So there are things that aren't announced, and there are things that have already been announced. And Honkai getting its release date is great. I will probably pick it back up a
Oh,
little
I
bit.
forgot it
Like,
wasn't on PS4. I guess that's
no, it
or
was
excuse me,
not.
PS5.
It
I
was also not on PS5. Yeah,
got it.
yeah.
I didn't realize that was the missing piece because I was kind of like, why are we hearing about this now?
And they did like a beta thing recently. I didn't participate. There are other games to play. Um, but Honkai actually started the tail end of the state of play where it was just all great. So you got Honkai to kick it off. Foam Stars open beta. I'm interested in this game. I hear nothing but good things from the people that have played it at like various trade shows, and
It's
it's
very
just
pretty. I'll give it that. Like
the
the
aesthetics are
stages look
just
really good.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just another Splatoon style game, but also mixed with like a Overwatch style. So it's like a lot of things that sound interesting, and I will definitely do the open beta. Um,
Yeah, the open beta is going to be a great opportunity to see like how this is different from like Splatoon. Well, I can tell how it's different from Splatoon, but obviously that's the game they're trying to kind of emulate on the
mhm,
PlayStation 5 and I think it could be
yeah,
interesting. I want to check this out for sure.
and then it ends with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Which is
Oh
very
my
very
god,
much the scene stealer of this whole thing, right?
yeah, and I. I mean, we knew it was third party stuff. I don't know why I didn't think this was gonna be there, but like I'm not historically the biggest Final Fantasy VII fan. I think it's a fine game. The original's fine. I loved it as a kid. Um, but as I grew older, I was like, okay, the game is just it's good. It's like top half of the Final Fantasy games easily. Uh, but since playing some of Crisis Core on PS5, since playing Remake, since playing Intergrade, and seeing this trailer, I'm like, man, this actually is probably like a top tier Final Fantasy world at the
Mhm.
very least.
Mhm.
And I cannot overstate how excited I was when I saw Kate Sith there and
Yeah,
then
Case It
Vincent
looks
show
really
up.
good. Yeah.
Like that this note part on my notes app had a lot of caps lock too. And a lot of exclamation points. Um And really, though, the most important thing in this video is the dude from the Honeybee Inn is back,
Yeah,
and so there
Andrea or
better
whatever.
be another
Yeah.
dance scene
That is so
because
smart to bring him back to what is assumably the
Gold Saucer
Chocobos or
probably.
Gold Saucer. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
almost certainly there. I think that's so smart of them to
yeah.
bring him back there. Yeah, I
That
caught
was
that
one of
too.
the best parts of
Well,
Remake,
and
and
just
so
how much of the Gold Saucer stuff. I mean, the if they had not gone out of their way to do these Gold Saucer stuff, and they have taken care in the in the remake and now Rebirth and so forth to even get the little things like the squat competition from Final Fantasy VII Remake was in there and so forth. So I think it would have been silly to think they wouldn't do the Gold Saucer, but I think to like just see it. I love that polygon fighting looking thing where they look like they're Final Fantasy VII PlayStation sprites. That was so
mhm,
funny. It just looks like there's gonna be so much. It's
I'm
really cool.
so pumped for this
Well,
game.
here's the thing that I was kind of questioning is that at the end I couldn't remember. My memory's serving me a little weird. Don't they say
Okay.
at the end it's on 2 discs? And I
Yeah.
was like, is that because they also flashed the remake and intergrade there? Or did they say
No.
that this was going to be on 2 discs? It's so freaking big.
They've said it from day one,
I
it's 2
couldn't remember.
discs.
I couldn't remember. That left my mind.
Yeah.
But I think it's one thing to like see that, but then like now you see like the scope of what it is. You're like, oh dang, that is gonna be a
Well,
lot. Yeah, on 2 discs.
it's not part of the state of play, but they put out a lot of information about this game after the state of play.
I was gonna
So
say
we
that too.
know.
They talked about the break point.
Yeah.
Finally, they acknowledged that the break point between 2 and 3 is gonna be the what we assume, and I think it is an assumption at this point, is the Aerith death sequence will be the end of
Yeah.
this game.
Yeah, well, that
If
area at
she
the very
dies.
least.
Yeah.
No matter what happens there, it's still that area.
And
So
that should be a good call out is that they don't say it ends with her death or her it says it ends in that area.
no. Yeah. So no, this was just fantastic. I loved this trailer.
Yeah.
Everything about it. I love that Kate Sith has like, I don't know, is it Scottish accent?
Mhm.
Like that's just, I mean, even though spoilers for Final Fantasy VII, 40 years later, uh, he's like, he's not Scottish. His character, the person controlling him is not Scottish, does not have that accent. But I'm just so freaking happy for this game. It
Yeah.
just looks so good.
It looks really good. Really, really good. I would say probably the other big thing that I'm sure a lot of people are excited for. I just don't think maybe you get into this. I thought you did play these games. That would be Spider-Man. So
I
the Marvel
so
Spider-Man 2, I would have thought you'd have more to say about this.
I wrote down stuff for it. It looks good.
Mhm.
I'm not really excited for it. I never finished the first one. I didn't even play my copy of Miles Morales yet. Um, Spider-Man was like the first superhero that I really loved growing up. So it is kind of puzzling to me why I have not just gone all in on this Insomniac series. And I know they have a ton of cool costumes for both Miles and Peter, and one of them's even Sentai like inspired or
Right, yeah.
Tokusatsu inspired. It's really good. Um, but I don't know. It's like these type of open worldy games always kind of fall flat with me. There's just too much, and I didn't find what I played of Spider-Man 1 in terms of combat very interesting. So maybe at some point I'll play this whole series, and it does look really good. Just I don't know. There are so many other games now like that are competing for my time. Like
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat came out today, and I've been playing that a little bit, and I'm absolutely in love with it. It is so good. But then
I
I've also got
No,
other
I think that's a key
things.
point as when you look at this and what Nintendo did today is that 2023 has already been like an incredible year for games. It's almost going to be hard not to have some presentations that land a little more with a meh because this year has just been so strong already. It's almost feels like it can't get any better than what we've had so far between, your Baldur's Gate 3s, your Tears of the Kingdom, Diablo 4. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's been huge releases this year. So
All I heard was Baldur's Gate and then some crappy games. I don't know what this list is
You're
you're
gonna
coming
own
up
that
with.
comment about Tears of the Kingdom. I get that.
Oh yeah,
I
100%.
get that some people don't care for Diablo 4, but
I
you're
don't
gonna own
like
that
Tears of the
one.
Kingdom.
You can tag
I'll
Shane in the comments.
yeah,
There you
yeah, I
go.
don't like Tears of the Kingdom, everybody. It's not a fun game. And Diablo's boring after you beat the main scenario. Okay.
Anyway, but this
There's
video
my
isn't
piece.
about that. Okay, can I say one other thing that jumped out at me a little bit?
Hmm.
I'm so embarrassed to admit this, but like, because I didn't even see the new movie, but like the Avatar sequence, I was like, it's really pretty. Although here's the thing, it's pretty, but I really don't like the way the characters look.
Well, they look like Avatar.
But the world,
Like,
no, they're both. I just they look better in the movie than they do here.
well, of
But the
course they do.
world looks
The world looks
really good.
beautiful.
That's what
So,
got me, is I'm like, "Oh, wow." Like, I wish they do a No Man's Sky 2 where everything looked like this. I was like, "This looks so good." But I'm sure this is not gonna be a, end of the year greatest games list, but I'm hoping it's decent enough where it'll catch my attention to check it out, because it looked, yeah, like I would say, this was one of the trailers that caught my attention. There was a lot of points, between like the baby steps and some of the, gunning games that, Ghost Runner and stuff, that's just like, they are for somebody, but they're not for me type of things, where I was like,
yeah.
oh, this looks like it might be kind of fun.
So with this game, I also have to say I've never seen the new Avatar movie. Avatar, the first one, I've seen bits and pieces where I can probably say I've seen the whole movie, but I don't know what happens because I just see little, like it was all out of order
Hmm.
from what I've seen of it. And what got me about this game, I thought it looked visually really nice. I was like, I could see this being cool, and I continued to think that way until I realized at the end that this is not PSVR. This is just a regular PS5 game
Mm.
because there's so many sequences on here that would be brilliant for the PSVR 2,
Interesting.
but it's not. It's just standard first person on PS5. So that
VR2
just
would
like
limit its audience so hard, though, which for an Avatar, which, Avatar is one of the biggest movie franchises ever.
why
Um,
can't it be
I
both?
know, no, I don't disagree. It could be both, but yeah, that's not something where you just push a button and it's magically on VR, right? You got to invest the dollars
You-
to program that, and maybe they just decided it
I
wasn't
mean,
worth
it's
it.
true, but I mean, it's just a random first person shooter at this point to me
Yeah,
with an avatar skin, I guess,
that's fair.
where it could have been something much better.
Yeah. Well, that was the only other game I caught where I had an opinion about it, and wanted to say something about it. Is there
I thought,
anything else in the direct
well,
that you would
we
want to talk
basically
about?
covered everything.
No, there's some other
Roblox didn't
games. Yeah,
care.
Roblox is not,
Uh,
again. It's for 11-year-olds, not for me.
well, they said they're going to start doing like dating stuff on it too, like at some point, which is weird. Uh, Ghost Runner, this game that you're showing right now looks cool. I never played the first one, but whatever. I'm not going to play this one either. And then the only other, or the other two games are Helldivers 2, which just looked like a boring shooter game. So, like big pass on that. And then DLC for Tales of Arise
Yeah,
and whatever. And that's the entire state of play.
yeah,
There's nothing else.
yeah. But you still enjoyed it more than the Nintendo Direct today.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
because Rebirth, Foam Stars, Honkai, Blue Controller, Resident Evil VR, like those were amazing.
I
And uh versus what I consider amazing from the direct was just uh Eiyuden Chronicle, and that was basically it. Yeah, that's basically it. Maybe some, no, because Mario RPG we've already seen before. So yeah, so it's like 5-1.
I think I disagree with you on this one. Surprise. Just because, don't get me wrong, like the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth stuff was amazing, and I'm very glad we got to see it and it looked incredible. But I also kind of feel like I don't need to be sold on that game. Like, I already know I'm getting that game. I already know how I'm gonna feel
It's
about
not
that game.
about being sold on it. It's about
Eh,
they
But I just,
created the hype.
but that's it. Hype mode already active. No, and don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying it was like bad, but I was just saying like that was like the big thing for me. And then there's, a couple other things, but I think the Nintendo Direct just had more stuff where I was like, oh, neat. Oh, okay, cool. I think both of these were relatively in the middle ground. Like they weren't like outstanding, either of them. They didn't suck, certainly, but I just kind of feel like with Nintendo especially, it just felt like, okay, this is to hold us over till the Switch 2. And then with the PlayStation, it was just kind of like, okay, well, we kind of already knew the big stuff that was coming out for holiday, and there's just not a lot to talk about with early next year yet. And maybe we'll see another one of these soon that has more. I don't know.
Yeah, I
So,
don't I don't feel like the state of play was necessarily like, here's all these cool announcements. It was more like, here's just some stuff and some of it's super awesome and
mm,
you already know about it. The only surprise in this in terms of like announcements to me are the controllers and blades for the PS5. Everything else has been announced before or shown before, but they just gave us better or different looks or first looks at it, even though they were already announced. Um, but I think that you go into state of plays, I think overall with an expectation that it's not going to be great to it might be passable, and I think this exceeded expectations because I think it was better than both of those.
because you set the bar low.
Yeah, well, Sony sets the bar low,
That's fair.
and with directs, you're like, this is going to be really good to this is mind blowing. And then Nintendo missed that today. So you come away from the state of play with a better experience because you had those low expectations and it was greatly exceeded versus you had medium to high and it was not met.
Mm. I don't think you're giving Nintendo enough credit, but it's fine. We can disagree sometimes here. But overall, yeah, I was okay on this. Like it's okay, fine. So I look forward to more. And we said it earlier in the video. 2023 overall has already been a fantastic year for games. I think any of these things we're going to be having an uphill battle to try to out impress so many of the things we've already seen this year. It's been a great year to be a gamer, that's for sure. So.
Unless you are a PlayStation Plus gamer. That's not been a great year.
Yeah, they dodged that in this, didn't they?
Yeah, they definitely did not show
Mhm.
off
Yeah, that
anything
is
that.
interesting. They didn't bring it up at all, not even trying to talk about new
Well,
games or
to
any of
be
that.
fair, they did say this is like a third party showcase plus some PSVR
Yeah,
2
yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
they own Insomniac now? That's
Yep.
not third party.
Mhm.
So I don't, and that wasn't PSVR related, so I don't quite understand why they really needed to put that in here except for time filler, but
All right. Well, we're going to wrap this up here. Thank you so much for joining us to talk about this, our reactions to Sony State of Play. We, of course, will go into a deeper dive on all the gaming news over at the Voice Geeks Network, VOGnetwork.com, and on our Twitch channel, VOG Network. Sunday nights with Orange Lounge Radio, myself, Dark Soccer, and Loki at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific. And Shane, do you have anything you want to plug?
nope.
Okay, well, then that's going to do it. Having you not even get the Pokemon DLC or something like that?
Oh my god, it's so
All
good.
right, well, we'll save that.
Well, this is a PlayStation thing.
We'll
I should
save
have
that
plugged
for
that
another
on
video.
the Nintendo one.
All
Go
right.
get the Pokemon DLC, PlayStation
On
players.
on that note, good night. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you next time.